We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. What is with all this red ink? I will tell you what is going on with the red ink. And you know what? It is the perpetual scourge of crypto, also known as the stock market. I mean, can you believe that when somebody announces they bought XRP for their treasury, that the stock goes up 12% and XRP goes down? I mean, really? Okay. So let's discuss stonks versus crypto. First of all, bullish sentiment in stocks, you ready? 100%. Like commodity trading advisors are 100% invested. They've never been more invested in equities, ever, right? Volume is massive at the highs. Charles Schwab, where I used to work, their sentiment survey is now 59% bullish, 29% bearish. Again, the highest bullish reading since 2017. It is an absolute parabolic, greed-based insanity over there. And if you're looking at your screen this morning going, what is this? What is this bleed about? Why is it bleeding again? Okay, well, they must smell a problem in stocks. It could be. And of course, it could be all this like I'm selling and going on vacation stuff, which we've talked about. Now, what we have not talked enough about is the massive amount of cringe that's out there. Like this, ETH, I can't remember what they called it. ETH, when you start like naming your company after cryptocurrencies, that I guess we're going to zero 3 months ago, the market's going to go down. Like, look at this. He must be doing this on purpose. This can't be serious. They sold a whole bunch of Bitcoin, right? So first, there's people believe in something with the ETH. Okay. There wasn't any of this at 1400. Okay. See this little robot guy? Yeah, it's Mike Novogratz from Galaxy Digital's new profile picture. I'm like, Mike, this is like the Luna tattoo. I must do this on purpose. This Bitcoin that they sold, I don't know, maybe it was their Bitcoin. I'm looking at this. I'm like, Mike, please stop it. Please. Right? It's so awful. And then, I don't know if this is cringe or not. Right? Like, when are we going to make an announcement? Like, there's this big tour. He's meeting with all these leaders. He's allegedly getting tariff concessions. I don't even think the market believes that the tariffs are ever going to go into effect. But where's the crypto policy? The banks got the surveillance state with the stable coins. I sometimes I think this is just cringe. I mean, it is cringe to the point where S&P is the new BTC, implying that, S&P could go to 6,900, S&P 7,000, right? S&P currently at 6,400 with every topping signal you can imagine, right? Like bearish divergence where prices make new highs, but the oscillator makes lower highs down here. I don't know, man. This is crazy. 100% bullish sentiment. It was at zero. Down here, it was at zero. Like, I don't know. I can't remember a bigger squeeze. And guys are being forced to buy in because they're missing out. Okay. So obviously, if everyone's doing stocks and we have ETH treasury companies, XRP treasury companies, even though I like all these things, and you have this kind of cringe, I don't know. You're asking for it to go lower. Now, a word or two on AI. So, a study of 25,000 employees shows enterprise AI contributed minimal productivity. It's not making people more productive. This is like, coming from the CEO of NVIDIA, right? Improvement rates over time. Workers report AI chatbots haven't significantly improved earnings. See, that's the key, right? So let's just think about this in terms of stocks. Stocks go up and up and up, undoubtedly on AI, right? And it's not profitable. And they're spending billions and they're throwing all kinds of money at people. It's not profitable. It's not. It's like AI is a meme over in legacy. It's like a meme. Breaking news from the Eagle King. This is normally what they start when the market goes down. So 33% of the Bitcoin supply is vulnerable in a quantum attack due to this habit. Everybody is negative on Bitcoin. I saw something yesterday where retail participation and retail searches for Bitcoin is at like the absolute low. No one is interested, which is why I think this whole bleed eventually ends with a powerful turnaround. Now, what the catalyst is for the turnaround, I don't know. But this bleed is probably from, I hate to say it, disinterest. Because there's so much going on in stocks. Nobody cares about Bitcoin. Nobody cares. I mean, everyone cares about Ethereum now, which is funny because, it went to 1,500. So at 1,400, no one wanted it, but at 3,800, it's much more attractive. Shocking. Okay, XRP open interest is falling. Okay, that means, people are closing out their positions. So I think it's good that people are now following the XRP futures contract. And who knows? Like, if people are closing up their positions, that fits our narrative of people going on vacation. Just like, all the selling is just people going, you know what? I'm done. I'm going on vacation. And, it sucks. It sucks. Okay, so this is a guy from my generation or older. He said long-term crypto price predictions are nonsense because all he wants to do is figure out how to do a good trade. Now, this I find more bullish. I think you could make price predictions. I think you could do analysis and say, if this extends itself, this is the way it can go. Because what happens with traders is that most of the time the market is in a range. Most of the time, 70% of the time, a market is in a range which traders can take advantage of, which is why they all hate price predictions and they all hate trends. Really, like your guys who love to buy when everyone is selling and sell when everyone's buying, they hate it when it's one way. They hate it when it's up only. So, yeah, crypto price predictions sometimes are off, but isn't it funny how these things surface in magazines when the market's going down? It's kind of funny, don't you think? Long-term holders who have held for 155 days or more still hold 53% of the supply. The enduring concentration signals more supply could unlock if prices rise. You know what? I think anybody who wants to sell Bitcoin is going to find immediate buyers. Immediate. Now, for anybody who hasn't been here, that's because the value of the dollar has to come down, and there's no other way to do it other than Bitcoin. And the reason I keep saying this is because when they get done with the FOMO in equities, like I actually think if equities broke in August or they broke at the end of August, that would actually be benefit crypto after the initial trade lower. Just as a reminder, in 2007, I believe, and in 1987 and in 1929, the top of the stock market was the end of August, right before people came back for Labor Day. Okay. The Labor Day is considered the end of the summer in the United States. More cringe. You know, I got to draw thumbnails every day. Sometimes I got to draw like 3. Seriously, like my stream. Then there's like, private groups. Then there's the thing I do with my partner. I understand you have to make art, but I hate it when guys have like laser beam eyes and NFT tattoos, NFT profile pictures. So I'm like, oh my God, please. Right? And then the market is just bleeding. And this is why, because people get so bullish. Here we have Ethereum on all of its birthdays. Thank God it's higher than 2024. That was so embarrassing that ETH was actually rolling down for the year. Oh my God, more cringe. The Dubai hot property market is booming as everyone is spending crypto for Dubai real estate. Oh my God, stop it. And look at this character. A few months ago, BTC goes up. Alts don't go up as much. BTC goes down. Alts collapse. BTC goes down 10%. ETH goes up 15%. Bitcoin up. ETH up more. Bitcoin down. ETH doesn't go down at all. Sign we are in alt season. No, we're not in alt season. We're in ETH season for now. And what's really funny, here we go. What's really funny is that Solana was supposed to be the end of Ethereum. Ethereum is doing better and holding, and Solana cannot get above 180. All the misconceptions, all of these theories, like first ETH was going to flip Bitcoin. That was 2 years ago. Then Solana was going to be the end of Ethereum. Not happening. Not happening. And the market is full of not happening. Like somebody just bought $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? Anyone who wants to sell Bitcoin, there's going to be somebody there to match it. And I think the general public, disinterested, is extremely bullish Bitcoin. With altcoins, they may be worried about a fall in stocks and a rise in Bitcoin. I'm serious. Because there's, other than the cringe, because there's a lot of cringe, right? Now, on the more positive front, look at this. In one case, open interest is falling. That's probably at the CME. But the volume on Kraken for XRP futures is bigger than Solana. They want to mix it up in XRP. You got buyers, sellers, profit takers. They're mixing it up out there. They are. And I think that's a good sign for XRP. It is. I mean, people want to trade it. Breaking news. More Glassnode. Total unrealized profits for all BTC holders hit an all-time high at 1.4 trillion. This massive paper gain concentration sets the stage for potential distribution pressure if prices go higher. So here is unrealized profit on Bitcoin. Now, I have no idea why anyone who's that big would actually sell Bitcoin rather than borrow against it. Like, just borrow money against it and you don't have to pay the taxes. It's funny how everybody is trying to get bearish. Like, I know the altcoins are like bleeding out. But I don't understand why all of a sudden no one is interested in Bitcoin and no one is interested in crypto. I mean, if this continues, you may not have a fun, like I thought you were going to have more fun in August, to be honest with you. But, if, speaking of cringe, more cringe, JP Morgan just capitulated and got involved. JP Morgan and Coinbase strike a deal to link bank accounts and crypto wallets. I mean, when I opened up a bank account at JP Morgan as a crypto like newsletter person, I got the third degree from two different guys. Now, it was fine in the end. They were just doing their compliance due diligence. But if JP Morgan just capitulated, oh, I hate it. I hate it. Seriously, I hate it. Okay, TA. So, SUI unwound all of July, right? July was like at the end, it was up only, and then it was down only. And this is what makes people upset. Solana is at support, but Lux Algo is now selling it. I hope that's like an accidental puke, like here, right? It sees the decline, it sells, but then it has to turn itself around. I really hope that's the case, right? If you look at ETH on a 4-hour chart, it's kind of funny. Like ETH now looks like Bitcoin. It doesn't go down. Even with all the cringe, ETH is not going down. Thank God. And I'm starting to wonder if ETH is not sucking all the capital out of altcoins. Like, first Bitcoin sucked all the capital out of ETH. Now I'm wondering if ETH is sucking the capital out of the rest of altcoins. That's so annoying. So annoying. I mean, I hate this in XRP, right? I mean, XRP is on support on other charts, but on this chart, it's like slumping through the downward part, slumping to the downside after breaking out near the apex. So XRP kind of has to recover quickly, in my opinion. Like, I want to see this turn around, like, soon. Like, you can give them up until today. Now, speaking of today, we have two things going on. We have the Fed. Remember, we have the announcement, which will be a nothing burger. And then we have his press conference afterwards, which should be very interesting because that's when Powell can stand up and be very, Fed president, Fed chief, right? Nobody dares give him a hard time in those press conferences, or they won't be at the press conferences anymore. I think the most rebellious thing Powell can say is that he's going to do absolutely nothing for the rest of the year. Now, in some ways, I know that there are Fed governors who think that that's a big mistake, and it is. It is to a certain degree, because I think what they should be doing is putting high-powered money in the system. Cargill, a food company, axes 1,100 people. Okay. 5% of workforce. This could be RFK. Canned foods, 378 jobs with the plant closing. 433 jobs, chickens. Pepsi, junk food. Okay. Closing a Detroit facility that's been open for 80 years. Now, this is not the end of the world necessarily, but so much for Made in America. And I really hope they're not lying to us about this strategic reserve thing. Like, I hope that whatever they come up with is a plan to action, not a ceremonial Pence ceremony. Because then the market is, it's ironic. I think people are selling. I'm calling it pre-disappointment. It's pre-disappointment. Now, the most important thing to remember is that if they do this to you again, that you don't get wiped out. You can use it to either hang on or to add. Because I still think they're giving you an opportunity that when this turns around, when they move from equities over to crypto, when they realize that 100% bullish sentiment in equities is insane, when AI, billions are being spent on it, and it's not profitable and it's not adding to productivity. It's not. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got anything breaking from the Eagle King? I thought we did. Just in, President Trump announces 25% tariffs on India, along with a penalty for buying Russian energy and military equipment. What happened to Bitcoin? What happened to crypto as a growth industry? I think it's going to be up to us, right? And the fact that no one is interested in Bitcoin makes me interested in Bitcoin. As big of an ETH fan as I am, the Cringe, oof. So be careful out there. The Cringe is out there. Let's welcome who's here. Let's welcome who's here. Our friends. We have Dozer, Ben from Down Under, Arendam, MJ Hits, Yav, Warmon, Rodney, G-Man, Side Hill Forging. Welcome. Hornet 919. Tyler Hall from the Antivirus Universe. Should be not buy now or wait for the dip or more dip this afternoon. I say buy any dip now and like the 9th of August. And hope it doesn't come unglued. And then after the solar eclipse is in September is when this thing goes. And you either got to hang on or deal with the boredom. The climb to 1, right? What's going on? 99% of this stuff is just junk. Your coin needs to be able to do something. Yeah, dude, it does. And that's why I like this privacy angle. I forgot to cover that. Let's just welcome who's here. Nick, rates staying the same. So in a thing that no one cares about, but they should, the Tornado Cash developer, the defense, has concluded their case. So the prosecution, who said Tornado Cash was involved or knew about hacking and didn't do anything about it. And the defense presents emails inside of Tornado Cash where Roman Storm was like, you know what? We got to try to do something to stop these hackers. He actually tried to do something. And they're trying to nail him for privacy. Seriously. I probably showed this yesterday, but that's what you look like in the New York City subway in July. The air conditioning in the cars is amazing. The subway cars themselves. The platforms are not air conditioned. It's like a sauna. And this guy is coming out of a trial. And I'm going to tell you something. This is a little bit like McAfee. This guy is fighting for you. His lawyers are fighting for you for transactional freedom. And for God's sakes, I really hope that if he gets convicted, the Orange Man has his pen out and is pardoning him right away. I didn't realize this. This is not a civil case, meaning this is not a lawsuit where if you lose money. This is going to a jury. This is criminal, right? Not metaphorically. It's criminal. It's going to a jury. Tomorrow, both sides will have a chance to summarize their arguments to the jury, after which the jury, who I'm sure are all crypto native, will be instructed by the judge on the charges against Storm and then released to deliberate. Can you imagine a bunch of like Joe Public trying to figure out Tornado Cash? Again, Roman Storm is out there fighting for you. For you. And when your bags get smacked like they are, you can't forget why we're here. I know I say that all the time, but it's easy to know why we're here when it's mooning. But when you have to suffer the cringe, the indignity of the stock market, this is all recent, right? Everything was fine 4 days ago. Now I'm like, oh my God, NFT profile pictures, really, Mike? Come on. Okay. Tomorrow is the last stream for Kaizen. Tomorrow's it, the finale. Not going to make a big deal out of it, but, you know, Alexandra, SGSG, all the OGs, the guys on the site, the war moms, the guys who were here in the beginning, I hope they're here at the end, right? So kudos to you guys. Tomorrow's it. We will see you then.